He didn't call for help right away. He just stood there, frozen, engine off, water silent. The orca had been circling for 20 minutes. Every time he tried to move, it blocked him. Left, blocked. Right, blocked. Reverse. It followed. He'd been sailing alone for 3 days. No crew, no signal, no explanation. And now, a 6-ton predator was refusing to let him leave. He thought he was going to die out there. He really did. But then, the whale did something he had never seen before. Something that made no sense. Something that shouldn't have been possible. It rose, slowly, higher than before. And that's when he saw what it had been carrying the entire time. He didn't speak for a long moment. He just stared, because what was resting on that orca's back wasn't supposed to be alive. His name is Marcus Webb, a 38-year-old solo sailor from Oregon. He'd made this route before, the Pacific stretch between Vancouver Island and the open water. Nothing unusual, nothing dramatic, just him, his 28-foot sloop, and the sound of the wind. Day 3 was supposed to be the easiest. Clear skies, calm swells, light breeze. He was making good time. Then, around 11 in the morning, he noticed the shadow, dark, wide, moving just beneath the surface. He assumed it was current interference, maybe a wave pattern. He ignored it for about 10 minutes. Then it surfaced. A full-grown orca, male, massive dorsal fin cutting straight up. He grabbed his camera, because that's what you do. You film it, you post it, you move on. Except it didn't move on. It stayed directly in his path. He steered left. The orca moved left. He corrected right. It adjusted instantly, like it knew exactly what he was doing. He laughed at first. Nervous energy. Probably just curious, he told himself. But curiosity doesn't last 20 minutes. Curiosity doesn't match your speed. Curiosity doesn't look you in the eye. And hold it. He slowed the engine. The orca slowed too. He killed the engine completely. The orca stopped, dead still, water flat around it. And then, it made a sound. Not a splash, not a breach. A sound he described later as something between a cry and a knock. Low, deliberate, repeating. He leaned over the railing, and that's when he noticed, for the first time, that the orca wasn't alone. There was something beside the orca. Small, dark, low in the water. Marcus grabbed his binoculars. His hands were shaking. He couldn't make it out at first. The shape kept disappearing under small swells. Reappearing, disappearing. He thought it was debris. Maybe a log, maybe a seal. Then it moved. Weakly, barely, but it moved. He leaned further over the rail. The orca didn't flinch. It stayed positioned, almost protectively, beside whatever that thing was. Marcus later said he felt something shift inside him in that moment. Not fear exactly, something stranger, like he was being watched and evaluated at the same time. He reached for his radio. No response on the emergency channel. He tried again. Static. He was alone out there, completely. He grabbed a boat hook, not as a weapon, just something to hold, something that made him feel less exposed. He edged the bow slowly toward the shape. The orca didn't retreat. It made that sound again, low, rhythmic, almost like it was signaling. And then Marcus saw something that stopped him cold. The shape in the water had markings, not natural markings, scars, deep, deliberate, unmistakable, running along its side in a way that no reef, no rock, no propeller could explain. His stomach dropped, because now he recognized what he was looking at. It wasn't debris. It wasn't a seal. It was another animal entirely, and it was barely holding on. He stood there, gripping that boat hook, heart pounding, trying to process what the orca was actually doing. Then the whale rose, slightly, and he finally saw the full picture, and nothing could have prepared him for it. The dolphin was resting on the orca's back, not beside it, on it, like the whale had positioned itself underneath, deliberately, to keep it from sinking. Marcus had never seen anything like it. Nobody had. He stood completely still for almost a full minute, just watching. The dolphin wasn't moving much. Its breathing was visible, shallow, labored, too slow. One of its pectoral fins was hanging at a wrong angle. The scars he'd seen earlier were worse up close. Something had torn into this animal, hard, multiple times. Marcus grabbed his phone and started filming. His voice on the recording is barely a whisper. It's holding it up. It's actually holding it up. Then the orca looked at him again, direct, unblinking. And this time, it vocalized louder, longer. The sound traveled through the hull of the boat. Marcus felt it in his chest. He tried the radio again. Nothing. He was 4 hours from the nearest harbor. No Coast Guard. No marine rescue. No answer. Just him. And this whale that refused to leave. He made a decision most people wouldn't. He lowered himself toward the water on the boarding ladder. Not in, just close. Close enough to see the dolphin's eye. It was open, watching him. And in that moment, Marcus said something changed in the air between them. Like a decision had been made. Not by him. Then, without warning, the orca dove slightly, shifted its body, and nudged the dolphin. Directly toward the boat. Directly toward Marcus. It wasn't accidental. It was a choice. And Marcus realized, with absolute clarity, that this whale had been waiting for him specifically. Marcus didn't think. He just reacted. He grabbed the emergency rescue net from below deck, his fingers fumbling, heart hammering. The dolphin was close now, almost within reach. He leaned out as far as he dared. And that's when he saw the full extent of the injuries. Propeller strikes, 3 of them, deep and clean-edged. A fishing line still partially embedded near the dorsal fin, cutting in with every movement. This animal had been suffering for a long time, not hours, days. Marcus's voice breaks on the recording when he talks about this part. He says he just kept thinking, how long had the orca been carrying it? How far had they traveled together? He managed to get the net underneath the dolphin. The orca held position the entire time, perfectly still, like it understood exactly what was happening. When Marcus finally secured the dolphin against the hull, out of the water, supported, he looked up. The orca was watching. Still, quiet now. No more vocalizing. And then, it did something that Marcus says he will never fully explain for the rest of his life. It rolled, slowly, onto its side, exposing its belly. A posture marine biologists later confirmed is an extreme vulnerability display, an act of trust, from a 6-ton apex predator to one ordinary man on a small boat. Marcus said he sat down on the deck and couldn't stand back up for several minutes, not from exhaustion, from the weight of what had just happened, because the orca hadn't been hunting, hadn't been threatening. For 20 minutes, it had been trying to flag someone down, anyone, and Marcus had almost sailed away. He almost left. The dolphin was still breathing, barely, but breathing, and now, everything depended on what happened next. Marcus motored back to harbor, 4 hours, alone. The dolphin secured against the hull the entire way. He kept checking on it every 15 minutes, every time. Still breathing. The orca followed for nearly 2 hours, then disappeared beneath the surface without a sound. Just gone. When Marcus finally reached the harbor, dock workers saw him first. They said he looked like a man who had seen something that rearranged him, because he had. Marine rescue took the dolphin immediately. Veterinarians confirmed the propeller strikes were at least 4 days old. The embedded fishing line had caused a severe infection. Without intervention, it had maybe another 12 hours. When researchers reviewed Marcus's footage, they went quiet. One marine biologist who has studied orca behavior for over 2 decades said he had no clean scientific explanation. He said it carefully, deliberately. This wasn't instinct. Instinct doesn't look like that. The footage was reviewed by 3 separate institutions. All 3 reached the same uncomfortable conclusion. The orca had intentionally intercepted a human vessel, had held position for over 20 minutes, had physically presented the injured dolphin when given the opportunity, and had waited, calmly, until it was certain help had been received, then left. The dolphin survived. 6 weeks of rehabilitation, released back into the same stretch of Pacific water. Marcus was there when it went back in. He didn't say much that day. He didn't need to. Some people spend their whole lives searching for proof that something greater is out there. Something that feels, reasons, chooses. Marcus wasn't searching. The ocean just decided he was ready to find it.